Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know where the hell we are in this new year and how the fuck we got here?
Well, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride, and we've kind of been all over the place this last weekend, so we're running late with everything. But as I recall, we ended the last regular session with Isaiah chapter 47.
We sure as fuck did.
And in that one, I think God was really going off about fucking up some Babylon shit and stuff.
He was basically telling Babylon, just because I used you doesn't mean you're awesome. Don't go getting all uppity about yourself.
Right, which we called some bullshit on because, you're the one that, you already knew this. There's no reason to be the way you're being.
Right.
It's kind of an asshole move.
It really is.
Yeah.
You could have just, let it go.
Right? Yeah. But whatever. God.
Babylon's gonna Babylon. What?
Yeah.
Let them Babylon.
Yeah.
But no, you're God, so go ahead, yell at them and
Stuff.
whatever.
Right.
Because you didn't chose them.
Yeah. So that was Isaiah chapter 47.
Yes, it was.
Which means that today we're going to be getting into
Isaiah chapter 48.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie.
Okay, so before we jump in, I actually have something I wanted to cover. I should have covered in the intro. But I want to mention this because it's pending and we need to do it soon. But we have a couple of patrons
New patrons
that we need to mention, and we have not done it yet because of all of our hectic schedules and busyness and holiday. So it is still coming. Bear with us, and we will get those, thank yous out. They will probably be this week at some point. I don't want to 100% promise that, but it is definitely...
we're still behind and trying to catch up. But we see you, and we thank you, and your name will be mentioned.
It is definitely on our mind. So that being said,
okay,
go ahead and let's go ahead and start with chapter 48.
Here we are in Isaiah chapter 48.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're back to God rebuking... he's always rebuking. The question is not, is he rebuking?
It's who he's rebuking.
Who is he rebuking? He is rebuking Israel.
Oh.
Go figure.
So we're mad
he's
at
back
Israel
to
again?
hating his people.
Got it.
Okay.
He's not mad at Babylon at the moment, at this particular moment.
Oh, no, he's got room in his heart to be mad at everybody.
Oh, okay.
All the time. God is always angry. He's never not angry.
Right?
Everybody's always a fucking disappointment.
Gotta tiptoe around this motherfucker.
Listen to this! Ye descendants of Jacob, you who are called by the name of Israel, come from the line of Judah. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
You listening?
Do you really... I have to just jump in here for a second. So, from the line of Judah, we have forgotten all the other tribes of Israel no longer matter, and apparently it's just the descendants of Judah now?
No, actually I took some notes on this that I was gonna mention later, but I'll go ahead and get into those now if you like, because they are actually kind of pertinent.
Okay, sure.
So, let me
briefly though, we
can
do the long version on our Q&A.
No, that's fine. Here is what all that means. So, God identified his people as the house of Jacob, meaning Jacob actually translates to deceiver and cheater.
Oh.
And so he's insulting them.
Really? Jacob is an insult? That is interesting.
That is interesting, yeah. He also says that they only have the name of Israel and not the character of Israel. And then when he talks about them being from the line of Judah, he's reminding them that their tribal ancestor, Judah, as you mentioned, he was noted in Genesis for his cruelty and immorality.
But how is that any different from God?
Well, this is God's talking to his people, and he's calling them by some of their names, but the way he's doing it is insulting. Like he's basically calling them worms again.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we wouldn't know that had we not, researched a little bit.
Sure.
Because we're like, yeah, sure, these are the descendants of Jacob. What?
Right.
And yeah, they come from the line of Judah.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. So, he's saying things that seem on the surface like, yeah, that tracks. Those are correct facts. But it's got an undertone and a mood to it that the unresearched reader would not pick up on.
Right. Got it.
So, but we researched.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
I shared with you.
Thanks.
The thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was actually going to bring that up in our recap, but,
And there it is.
You called it out.
I
So
did.
I had to bring you my knowledge. Okay. So, yeah, he's saying those things and he's like, you listening? You who take oaths in the name of the Lord and invoke the God of Israel, but not in truth or righteousness. You who call yourselves citizens of the holy city and claim to rely on the God of Israel, the Lord Almighty is his name.
I love how you just...
I'm awesome,
yeah,
fuckers.
Right. Man.
You guys are worms, and I'm a piece of awesomeness to compared...
I swear, I hate to even compare God to this guy, but, he sounds a bit like Trump.
He does.
The way he talks about himself and the way he just, I don't know, and how everybody else is just trash, and, it just... The whole... The image of God is essentially Trumpish to me.
It is. In a very ridiculous but funny because it's true kind of way. Yeah. I foretold the former things long ago. My mouth announced them, and I made them known. Then suddenly I acted, and they came to pass. So this is him talking about how he foretold prophecy things that came true.
Right.
For I knew how stubborn you were. Your neck muscles were iron. Your forehead was bronze. It sounds funny. He's basically saying, you couldn't be moved from how stubborn you are.
I got it.
Therefore, I told you these things long ago before they happened. I announced them to you so that you could not say, my images brought them about. My wooden image and golden metal God ordained them. You have heard these things. Look at them all. Will you not admit them? From now on.
They did not. That's not how this happened.
Well, God is claiming it happened according to Isaiah.
Right. Some dude, a human being who wrote this fucking book after the time of Isaiah, in the time of when these things happened.
Is attributing it to Isaiah saying that God foretold these things.
That were actually happening when the guy wrote it.
Yeah.
So this is just complete and utter bullshit.
Yeah. From now on, I will tell you of new things, of hidden things unknown to you. They are created now and not long ago. You have not heard of them before today, so you cannot say, yes, I knew of them. You have neither heard nor understood. From of old, your ears have not been open. Well, I do know how treacherous you are. You were called a rebel from birth.
Okay.
That's I took notes on that too, that I can't wait to our Q&A. I gotta say something.
Yeah.
Rebel from birth is where we get that whole sinner from the womb. Like sinner from day. You are born into sin.
Got it. Right.
Like you got that from Adam. You can't even help it. And then the fact that you sinned through life proves that you were just a born sinner.
Sure.
Okay. So he's like saying, you piece of shits.
I don't like some God that disparages you this much. Why the fuck would you follow him?
Right.
Like why would you think? I don't. It's just crazy.
Well, it would be like if I told my kid, you piece of shit, and then was surprised when my kid was like, don't talk to me like that.
Right.
I would like my mom not to call me a piece of shit, please.
Right. Yeah.
For my own name's sake, I delay my wrath. For the sake of my praise, I hold it back from you so as not to destroy you completely.
Oh, thank you so much for
I'm
not destroying us because you want to be praised.
Yeah, I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it because my name is awesome and I need to keep my name awesome.
That makes him so wonderful, doesn't it?
You're so magnanimous, you son of a bitch. See, I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction. For my own sake, I do this. How can I let myself be defamed? I will not yield my glory to another.
Wow.
What an arrogant
Jesus
guy.
Christ.
Oh, I hate this guy.
Right?
I feel like this guy is one of my exes.
Man, he's just so full of himself.
Right?
Man.
Like, who the fuck? Who hears this and is like, yeah, amen.
Right? Yeah.
Listen to me, Jacob, Israel, whom I have called. I am he. I am the first and I am the last. My own hand laid the foundations of the earth, and my right hand spread out the heavens. When I summon them, they all stand up together. Well, when I call their name, they come.
Yeah, I guess.
They when I tell them to jump, they ask how high as they're in the air.
But apparently he only does it on a regular schedule that's similar to the earth rotating.
Exactly. Come together, all of you, and listen. Which of the idols has foretold these things? The Lord's chosen ally will carry out his purpose against Babylon. His arm will be against the Babylonians. Even I, have spoken. Yes, I have called him. I will bring him, and he will succeed in his mission.
You know what, God? I call bullshit. If you're that powerful, you take on the fucking Babylonians and leave Cyrus the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah.
I want to see that's you claim all this power and you think you're all this, tough shit here. You take on the Babylonians.
Right.
Fuck Cyrus. Why do you need his help?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is stupid.
Well, and his response would be, I don't need his help. I'm using him. He's my tool because I'm so awesome. I can't solely my own.
But why would you use somebody that's not even a believer in you?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Exactly.
Like, if you this has bothered me all through when he uses these tools. I'm like, what? Why? You don't need to.
Because it's convenient editing.
Yeah. No, I know.
It's that deus ex machina,
right.
The hand of God, but literally.
Right.
Yeah. Come near me and listen to this. From the first announcement, I have not spoken in secret. At the time it happens, I am there. And now, okay, I have to say another thing.
Okay.
So at this point, there's some mysterious stranger enters the chat.
Oh.
And there is all kinds of controversy about whom's the fuck.
I see.
Okay. Like, there's all these questions. Who is speaking?
Right.
Like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
And then some people are like, obviously it's Jesus. And then other people are like, is it the suffering servant? And then other people are like, it's just a mystery.
Oh my God.
Right. And now the sovereign Lord has sent me, whomever I am, endowed with his spirit. This is what the Lord says, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. So now some guy. Yeah. Not Isaiah ? Like,
right.
And the reason that it can't be Isaiah is because he says, from the first announcement, I was there.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Okay. And that's why a lot of people say it's Jesus, because Jesus is God, right? Whatever. Sure. But anyway, that's from a Christian perspective.
Right.
But the fact that somebody was there at the beginning with God.
You could even take this as God's talking to his goddamn self.
Right?
He's so full of himself. I mean, like, he's just so full of himself. He could be talking to himself.
Yeah. And
like, he has to refer to himself like 3 times in the same fucking sentence. Yeah. I am he who is he and I am thou, and what?
Like, he talks.
Fuck, who cares, man?
He talks in third person and refers to himself in third person. So, to me, it's obvious that this is either like a mistranslation, or somebody wrote it down wrong the first time, or you know what I mean?
Something screwy.
Yeah. I think it's an issue with the text, not with who entered the chat.
We could even chalk this up to possibly they weren't the greatest writers that wrote this, I mean,
well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a writing problem. I think it's a problem with the text. I don't think that there's a mysterious stranger entered the chat.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Really weird.
Right. If only you had paid attention to my commands. This mysterious speaker is speaking for God.
Okay.
Your peace would have been like a river. Your well-being like the waves of the sea. Your descendants would have been like the sand. Your children like its numberless grains. Their name would never be blotted out nor destroyed from before me. Leave Babylon. Flee from the Babylonians. Announce this with shouts of joy and proclaim it. Send it out to the ends of the earth. Say, the Lord has redeemed his servant Jacob. They did not thirst when he led them through the deserts. He made water flow for them from the rock. He split the rock and water gushed out. There is no peace, says the Lord, for the wicked.
Yeah, that rock got Moses
into the wicked.
That rock got Moses into some trouble, though.
Yeah, I find it interesting that he doesn't say Moses' name in this.
Right? Yeah.
Like, why ain't you talking about Moses?
Right. Yeah.
Why are you saying the servant Jacob? And why are you what?
I don't know. I mean, I think I honestly think that there was a lot of I don't think there was a lot of
cohesion.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the biblical text back then,
right.
There was stories, but I don't think everybody had the same stories.
Yeah, they all had different pieces, and some of the pieces overlapped.
Right.
But not necessarily went together.
Right. Yeah.
And they clearly were not seamless.
No, not at all.
No. So that is the end of chapter 48.
Oh, okay. All right. So God's an asshole.
Yeah. God's a dick.
He's a dick.
Yeah.
Okay. It's such a constant theme.
It really is.
We should have just called. I didn't know it at the time, but we should have just called our podcast "God's a Dick."
God is a dick.
It would totally be more appropriate
if we ever rebrand.
Right? We'll yeah, God's a dick.
God's a
totally.
Dick. Would you put the apostrophe S? Would you say God's a dick or God is a dick?
I'd probably put an apostrophe.
Really? Because I would do it without the apostrophe, just because you couldn't hashtag it as well, and because sometimes when you're writing things on weird website problem comments and stuff, symbols get changed into other symbols.
True. Right. Yeah.
So I would totally just leave it. God is a dick.
I just feel like on stuff that we would make, it would be easier to do. God's a dick. Yeah. I don't know.
I'd have
to think about
wins
that. Both ways, but who cares?
Right.
We're sacrilegious discourse.
We are.
That's what it is.
I was just thinking about it because you were saying God's and I was saying God is. And so I just had to question, how would we do that on our t-shirts?
Yeah. All right. I don't know.
That's all I got.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was Isaiah chapter 48.
It sure as fuck was.
And we will be back actually later today with
Isaiah chapter 49.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep. We have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.